Okay, what was he doing in that one scene where he's like... Hi everyone, my name is Megan, and today I'm going to be reacting to the teaser trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of 10 Rings. Marvel just dropped it this morning, and I'm really excited for it. I feel like we've been waiting for this forever, but it just kept getting delayed because of the pandemic, obviously. So I'm really glad we get to see it today. What else before we get started? Oh, happy birthday, Simu Liu, and save Kim's convenience. Okay, let's go. Like a 1-inch punch. Wow, goals.
I gave you 10 years to live your life.
Aquafina. The karaoke.
Where did that get you? You walked in my shadow.
Oh my gosh, there's gonna be so much fighting!
I trained you. These are the most dangerous people in the world. Could kill you. Son, it's time for you to take your place by my side.
Wow, it's like Avatar, some waterbender. Superman punch. Oh, that's like old kung fu movies. Are those lions? Gosh, a bus battle scene.
Who are you?
Always gotta strike a pose to look cool. Oh, that's so scary.
We make a good team.
Oh, that looks so good. Okay, first off, September, that's like coming up soon, but I can't even imagine going back to the theaters by then, but hopefully things will get better. I don't know. Okay, that looked good. I think the most exciting part for me was seeing the martial arts and the fighting choreography, because it looked good. It looked really promising. It had those old kung fu movie vibes, especially with the setting, and especially one of the scenes, it was like it was more green, it was like more serene, but there was two people fighting. I think one of them was wearing a hat, and it looked like those wuxia movies, like those old kung fu movies where people are usually wearing like long flowy robes or like cloaks, and they're flying over trees and walking on water. And usually once you get that kind of a scene, you know there's gonna be like some kind of face off going on. And there's that one scene where all the water froze. It was kind of like in Avatar when Katara is facing off against Azula, and then she has to like freeze the water to freeze her to be able to win the fight. Okay, don't make fun of me, but I think other than martial arts, my favorite part of the trailer was in the battle scene. I think there are these giant creatures that came up, and I'm pretty sure they're like big stone lions come to life, and I love that. That's so cool. Like I've always thought, like whenever I see lion dancing at Lunar New Year performances, I've always imagined like, imagine having that as a pet, but like a fun sized one, a little small like mini one that you could bring on walks and stuff. But imagine having like a stone lion. Like these are usually in Chinatown or in front of like Asian supermarkets, being the guardians and like representing these strong and noble figures, which is cool to see because it's not just another like stereotypical dragon sidekick put into a movie. They also remind me of the lions that were in Over the Moon, except those ones had wings and they were animated. But I guess these ones are animated as well. But yeah, whatever, you know what I mean. One of the characters who was wearing a mask, because there's always got to be a character who's wearing a mask in order to get that like ominous and mysterious feel. But I wonder if the design for the mask is based off of the Beijing Opera face makeup designs, because it was a similar color and similar style. Now the Mandarin in the story is going to be Shang-Chi's dad, which is going to be different from the comics. So I wonder, and also from like what you can hear from the trailer, I wonder if they're going to be putting an element of like parental pressure, of expectations on kids, trying to get them to live up to their standards, which is a really common conversation being shared among like Asian American communities right now, just sharing experiences and stories of what it's like growing up to be Asian American. Because if they do go down that route, that's going to be very relatable to a lot of people. Instead of the dad being like, when you grow up, you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, and engineer, the Mandarin's going to be like, you can have all these powers, you can live forever, and you can wear these rings. But Shang-Chi's gonna be like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather sing karaoke all day and be a regular human being. Thanks, bye. I'm wondering if they're going to be introducing the element of chi in it, like into the lore and fantasy of it all. Because if they do, I hope it's done well and not like in Mulan where they just introduce this random element that isn't needed. But I think in this case, since there's more supernatural elements to this movie, it'll probably make more sense and it'll probably flow as well. Or if they don't mention chi at all, that's cool because the word chi doesn't necessarily have to mean energy like the way everyone uses it. It could also have a lot of like other different meanings, but also be pronounced chi. Like, like the number 7 would also, well, it would be pronounced T, or like the word for machine is also pronounced T, which I think in this case would be spelled CHI. But Chi in the energy sense does have a strong connection to martial arts, and once you get to the theory behind force and power in Kung Fu, that's where you would see a lot of it. Okay, never mind, I just googled it. Apparently, the current Chinese translation in the comics is Shang-Chi, which they might have been going for a cool translation of like rising spirit, but when you actually translate the words directly, it means like upper air or rising air, because Shang means up and then Qi is like air or gas. That's why last year Ronnie Chung, who's in the movie too, suggested to change the translation of the name. I don't know what has come out of that, or if they're changing the name at all for the comic at least, because that's where it's translated into Rising Air. I'm assuming they're not changing the name of the movie since it's already been released, but I wonder if they'll make any changes to the Chinese translation in the comic. Speaking of the comic, I know the original story had a lot of stereotypical and racist elements to it, so I'm interested in seeing how they change up the story to make it more appropriate and relevant. So I'm super excited for this movie. I can't wait to see how they incorporate elements of Chinese culture from the traditional or modern aspects of it, and just through like the martial arts, the setting, and the characters as well. And I'm so happy that Asian kids everywhere are hopefully going to be able to see themselves in this character and are going to be able to have a new superhero to look up to and be inspired by. Those were some of my thoughts on the trailer. I'm probably gonna watch it a couple more times just to see everything that I've missed. Let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like, or what you're excited about in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye! I remember when Marvel first announced Shang-Chi, and I was like, wow, Disney really couldn't think of another name for a Chinese man and just went with what they knew could work. But then I found out or realized that it was based on an old comic book. So it was fine, I guess. My friend sent me this, a screenshot of that karaoke scene, and I thought this was real. So I don't know if you can see it, but the lyrics are to a song called Tonghua, and it's like a classic karaoke song. It's like the first Chinese song you know how to sing. And I had to replay the trailer and get myself hyped up because I thought it was actually in there, but I'm pretty sure it's a Photoshop or an edit of it. And it's not the actual thing, but we don't know. They might actually have been singing that. But imagine if they were playing Tonghua. Like, that's like every Asian American's upbringing. I felt so seen.